A wiser feller than myself once said, sometimes you eat the turd sandwich, sometimes the turd sandwich, well, it eats you.
All right, and we're rolling.
So wait, are we the turd sandwich?
It's for you to decide. Sam Elliott said it. It's for us to contemplate 30 years after a movie is made and us decide what the meaning is.
30 years? 30 years?
I think The Big Lebowski came out in the 90s. I might be wrong. 98. Okay, so coming up on 30 years, not 30
yeah,
yet.
yeah, 26 years?
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
But yeah.
That's the same year that Spyro the Dragon came out.
Oh, dang.
That's the same year that the English release of Pokemon came out in the United States.
Oh, wow.
Because it took
I'm trying to think of...
It took 2 years for Pokemon to release internationally.
I don't really know, like, I'm sure there are some good stuff that came out in 98, but other than Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I can't really think of stuff that came out in 98. When I think of, like, the 90s, like, the year I remember and know a bunch of great stuff that came out was, like, 99. I can't think of anything for 98.
Yeah, I can think of something really cool that came out in 1996, but me. I came out of my mother in 1996.
No.
Well, actually, they had to cut me out, but that's a whole thing.
I was a fresh release in 97.
96. Did I say 96?
Yeah, I was saying I was a fresh release in 97.
Oh, sorry. I missed some of what you said.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I keep forgetting that you're younger than me.
Yeah, I'm a young man, a wee lad.
Yeah. We.
Oh, sorry. I drank coffee too early this morning. I should have just waited. But yeah, I drank coffee and did some writing today because today's my day off. Yeah. And I'm trying to get out of, I mean, obviously I can be in stupid brain for this podcast, but I'm trying to get out of stupid writing brain.
Yeah.
Because I was working on a day at the fair, and it's so stupid. I love it, but it's so stupid. Some of the stories.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, let me pause the recording. Sorry, listener, you can't hear this.
Ooh, no listeners allowed.
Wait, I almost ended recording. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, folks. We're back.
Wow, Brandon. I can't believe all those children. How could you?
Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. You say that jokingly, but the actual premise for a lot of people, they like animals more than humans.
Yeah.
Where the actual premise is a lot worse than what you're inferring.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. So for the listeners, I didn't get a chance to watch very far into it. But I started watching the first episode of Has Been Hotel today.
Nice.
Right before we started recording, and it's pretty decent so far. I mean, it's like, I'm not even like half an episode in yet. I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised at like where the story is starting, though, because instead of basically reanimating the pilot and having that be the first episode of the show, the show starts after the pilot.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's and I do find that quite interesting because the pilot establishes the entire premise of the series, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it introduces the central cast and like presents like the starting points for some important like relationships. So I'm surprised that the first episode of the full show is effectively a second episode.
Hmm.
It's an interesting decision. Like for anybody out there who's interested in Has Been Hotel, the pilot is available on YouTube. It has been since like I think 2019. I don't remember when it came out. But yeah, it's you can go watch the pilot if you feel like you're missing anything from the show. But yeah, I think it's an interesting decision to basically just pick up from where the pilot ends for the first episode of the full series.
yeah, yeah.
Because and for everyone who's curious also about the series and is having a hard time finding it based on the name, it's the has been part of Has Been Hotel is not spelled normally. It's HAZBIN for anyone who's like unfamiliar but curious about it. But yeah, I started watching it. I got through the first song of the show so far because it is a musical. And I think based on the chorus, I think the song is probably called "Happy Day in Hell,"
Okay.
and it's pretty good, pretty solid show
Is
too.
the show as a whole a musical or just the first
Yeah,
episode?
the entire series is a musical.
Okay.
That's like a core part of the premise is that it is a dark musical comedy.
Okay.
It's extremely violent, extremely vulgar, extremely sexual, because it all takes place in hell. So it is definitely not like a children's cartoon. But
Right.
but yeah, it's a musical, and that's like a well-known thing about it.
Okay. I might try watching it eventually. I mean, like already when I heard the premise before, like when you had talked about it, it sounded interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting this. This is just like my personal stuff I like. I'm not a huge musical guy, even if it is like comedy musical.
Yeah.
I don't mind like an episode having like musical stuff. Like South Park has musical stuff here and there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like Kyle's mom was a big old bitch, she's the biggest bitch in the whole life.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like I yeah, I'm now thinking about the most recent South Park episode where it's Cred. They're drinking this drink called Cred, which is basically it's a parody of the Logan Paul KSI drink that's in Walmart and all that stuff called Prime.
Okay.
And it's just like a parody of that, as well as like a parody of OnlyFans and stuff. Because I think the special is called South Park Not Suitable for Children or something like that. And yeah, that is true. But they are like mocking like some of the stuff. I mean, that's what South Park does. It's a lot of times it's satirical, but they're with this episode mocking a lot of the stuff where we're up in arms about some stuff in terms of parental control, while we're not as up in arms about other stuff, specifically advertising and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny. And then Randy's penis is out the entire episode because it's playing into the whole like not suitable for children thing.
Yeah.
So
what does that have to do with being a musical?
Oh, Eric has like some song.
Oh.
that is playing that you hear anytime he's like walking around with Cred, like the energy drink.
Yeah.
Forgot what it was called. I think it was just simply like, I got Cred, beep. I got Cred. I got Cred. Beep. Like it's, I don't know. It's South Park can do some funny musical stuff here and there, and I don't have an issue with musical stuff. It's just I don't know. Like
I've noticed that a lot of people shy away from musicals. And like I'm not like the biggest fan of musicals in the world, but for me, like a good musical like is isn't too different from anything else. You know what I mean? Like it's like a good musical uses its musical numbers the same way a good action movie uses an action sequence.
I'd agree. Yeah. And my thing is I like, and I'm assuming like Has Been Hotel is like this. I like a musical where it takes breaks. Like I know this is going to sound weird. I kind of like High School Musical.
Yeah.
Because it's not all song. I like a musical where it's acting, song, acting. So we get breaks between the music. The reason I mentioned that, I mentioned that because I'm sorry for fans of this out there. I know there's a bunch of them. I don't like Hamilton at all because it's almost 3 hours of music.
Almost 3 hours of rap.
Yeah. Like, I mean, rap or not, which also the rap part makes it feel like
it's a bit relentless. It's because I've seen Hamilton, and I actually, now I've gone on the record saying I'm not a huge rap fan, but I like Hamilton's music. But I will say, like, 3 hours of rap can feel really relentless.
Well, it's a lot because like I got 30 or 40 minutes in. Like my sister and I tried watching it a couple years back when it was on Disney Plus, and we both checked out. It was like I tapped. I can't do this. This is too much. One, because of like the musical aspect where there are no breaks with it. Also, I like rap, but this feels like my nerdy history teacher who's trying to be hip with the kids. It feels like he's trying to teach me something through rap. I don't really like that.
This isn't supposed to be educational. This is supposed to be about hoes and money and crack.
Oh no, there's great like educational rap out there. Yeah, I don't like, when I said I liked rap, I don't like a lot of the stuff that's out today. Now there are some good stuff that's out today, but you just kind of have like to dig for it. Yeah, because I don't like the typical messages of drug dealing, killing, like pimping. I don't like any of that stuff. Because I feel like it's nowadays, and I think a lot of people are kind of agreeing as times are going on, it's promoting that stuff.
Yeah. And I actually I saw a funny thing online recently that said Cardi B makes music for girls who think that collecting child support is making money moves.
It's pretty accurate. Yeah, but no, yeah, I just couldn't ever get into Hamilton. Hey, more power to people who do like it.
Yeah,
that's good. There's stuff I like that I know most people don't like. So,
yeah. And like I said, I like Hamilton, but I agree that like, and like I said, like 3 hours of rap can start to feel pretty relentless after a while.
Yeah,
it's not quite like it's not quite like Les Miserables, where it's like at least they slow down every once in a while.
Yeah. I like the breaks in musicals. I can't just have it singing the entire time. Let's have song. Song can be 3 to 7 minutes long or whatever. Then let's have at least the same amount of time of acting, if not double that, and then another song.
Yeah, Has Been Hotel, even in the pilot, but so far in the first episode, from what I've seen, it's the majority of it is character interactions and dialogue and like normal scenes of things happening, and then like the musical numbers like punctuate a point or like illustrate an aspect of a character, sort of thing.
Yeah,
like a Disney movie.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah.
It's like a vulgar Disney movies.
Movie. Yeah, Disney movies can punctuate points very well with their music, with their songs, where when you're watching it doesn't feel like a slog to get through. You're kind of like, ooh, like this is nice, as well as like, hey, like we're like any decent musical, through the songs, it is telling the story through the songs and the dances or whatever they're doing, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like Centaur World. Centaur World does a great job with its musical numbers.
Yeah. But yeah, there's been a lot more, and I'm not talking about Has Been Hotel at this point. I'm now talking about like there's a lot more musicals coming out in theaters and like big movies nowadays.
Really?
And also the two that I'm thinking of are like pretty much remakes, but they turned into musicals. The first one is Mean Girls. I like the original Mean Girls movie. I think it's a funny movie. But I don't want to see it as a musical. I heard it's good, but then I also hear it's so. But me just not being a big musical guy, like if I do see it, it'll be when it's like rental or whatever. My sister's like flipping it on a year from now on streaming or something.
Yeah.
That's how I'll see it. I don't want to see it, but I don't know. I don't want to just be like, oh, like they made it a musical. It sucks. Like I don't want to be one of those people, and I usually choose not to be.
You don't want to be the old man yelling at the cloud.
Yeah. I'll pass judgment whenever I actually see it. All I'm saying now is I'm not enthused to see a musical version of Mean Girls. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
When I see it, maybe I'll be like, holy crap, they did it. Tina Fey did it again. But
Life changed.
We'll see. And then another one. The color purple as a musical feels weird to me.
I don't know.
I like The Color Purple. It's a book. It was first a book, and then they made a movie in 1985, and I love the movie. I think the movie's great. It's about two African-American girls in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, where I remember exactly. Like they just go through a lot of crap in terms of their life. Like one is basically like not sold off to this like rich guy to be his wife, but like it's kind of like that. It's like, okay, go off with them, and they're good sisters. Like they love each other, and now they're separated, and they long to see each other again one day. And like 20, 30 years pass sort of thing. And you see how their lives are turning out and stuff.
Okay.
My sister's read the book. She loves the book. That then got us to watch the 1985 movie with Whoopi Goldberg in it.
Yeah.
Love the movie. Like I really like the movie. And it's very sad, but does have like some happy moments in it. But it's, I don't know. Like after seeing
Brandon, I gotta say, this was a test. You are completely wrong. When I said I don't know what the color purple is, I was looking for the color between red and blue on the color wheel. You completely failed. I'm gonna have to give you a 0% on that. That's an F.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Failing grade. This was 70% of your grade for the semester.
Well, I was gonna do the second definition below. Like whenever you look on like Merriam-Webster, there's like multiple definitions for something.
Why would Merriam-Webster have the book and its movie adaptations of The Color Purple before the actual Color Purple?
I think because the book and the movie are so great.
Because they're
more people think about the book and the movie than they think about the literal color.
Yeah. Oh man, mixing red and blue together is going to give you this great movie.
When I see the literal color purple, like if I just see it a color on a wall or whatever, the first thing I think of is the book or the movie. Yeah.
I look at purple and I think that looks like Whoopi.
Yeah, but I don't know. They turned it into a musical. Again, it'll probably be a similar Mean Girls type thing where it's like it'll come on randomly one day and I'll watch it and I'll be able to cast full judgment there. But I don't know. That one seems even weirder to make a musical of.
You know what else is a super weird idea to turn into a musical that they're making as a musical?
What's that?
The Joker sequel.
Okay, so here's the thing. I mentioned how I'm not a big musical person, but if it's out of left field, stuff like that, I'm kind of down for it because that's one of the most anticipated movies for me this year.
Yeah,
because it's
of course
so
they have to give it a
weird.
super pretentious name.
Yeah, of
Oh
course.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Which
but
I get.
yeah,
I understand.
yeah.
I understand like all the roots, like the mental health and the there's two of them now because Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn, and
Yeah.
and that's probably also why they're making it a musical. Either they're making it a musical because Lady Gaga is in it, or Lady Gaga is in it because it's a musical.
Yeah.
Either
And the thing is, I'm really looking forward to it because, and I thought about it somewhat recently. The movies I'm looking forward to this year, most of them I don't know much about. I know like a small bit, and I think that's the reason I'm anticipating it more. Like I wouldn't put I am going to go see Deadpool 3. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to go see Deadpool 3, but I wouldn't put that on like my most anticipated movies list because I kind of know
me
what to
neither.
expect with Deadpool 3.
And also, like for me, I'm going to see it this year because it's the one and only Marvel movie being released.
Yeah, exactly.
At least the only one from Marvel Studios, because there's also Madam Web.
I mean, if you think about it,
the trailer. I really like the part of the trailer where she said it's madaming time and then madamed all over the bad guys.
There was the one line in the trailer that is like so.
Like
who
that
wrote
he
this?
was in the Amazon with my mother when she was studying spiders and she died and she had a wart on her heel. And
it's such a bad line.
they 80-yard that in just for the excuse, like just to have something for the trailer to be like, here's her relationship to the villain, like in the trailer. Like that feels so 80-yard. I wouldn't put it past Sony, but I will be floored so hard I'll rotate back around into a standing position if that line is actually in the movie, like in that form.
And I can't remember how long that trailer was.
Like a minute and a half,
sorry,
right?
Sorry, people, for us. No. Here's the thing. Sorry for people. I'll first mention. Sorry for people who are hearing us talk about this, even though it came out a month ago or whatever. But it's still memeable. You can still meme this movie and this trailer. I think, if I remember right, the trailer is at least 2.5 minutes long, maybe 3 minutes. I think the reason I was about to say, I think the reason I'm thinking of that is because if it's not that long, it feels extremely long. And even if it is that long, it feels longer than that. It feels like a 5-minute trailer. Like
yeah.
It's so long and yet doesn't. I mean, it kind of tells you what the movie is about, but it doesn't. I don't know. There's no excitement to it at all. I don't know.
Here's what they should have done. Either 30 seconds and you have no idea what's going on, but it's like a bunch of interesting visuals. Or just release the movie on YouTube. No. Obviously that's a joke. Or put more effort into like presenting an understanding of like, not a synopsis of the plot, but like an understanding of like what the movie's actually about. It's like, because right now they have the worst of both worlds. It's a long trailer and you have no idea what the hell's going on. So but then they're also like, they feel the need to go into the detail of, he was in the Amazon with my mother when she was studying spiders and she died.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember how that line goes, but that's along the lines of like, don't you want to see why they call me the Rhino, or however that line from the Kramer Jail goes.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm not going to see Madam Web. I think a lot of people are in that same boat.
Yeah,
but I don't know. You could have made the trailer more interesting, and then I might possibly go see it, even though I don't care about any of the Sony stuff unless it's animated.
I was gonna say the only Spum movie that I've seen, and that is the acronym for the at least that's the acronym that the Daily Planet guys use for Sony's Spider-Man stuff. But the only Spum movie that I've seen in the theater was the first Venom, which is what was basically kicking off this new cinematic sub-universe they've been trying to do.
Yeah, and I haven't even seen the first Venom, even though I heard like of all that has come out from this universe, it's the best one. And not saying it's like amazing.
I was gonna say, like, yes, it's the best one, and no, that is not even remotely a high bar to clear.
Yeah, yeah. Because I did see
nothing but terrible things about all. Now I have heard I have heard people say that Venom 2 was a so bad it's good kind of movie. So I'm curious about that one.
Well, I'll say this because I actually did see Venom 2, surprisingly. Because whenever that came out, I was doing a road trip and I went to a drive-in movie theater, and they were playing Ghostbusters Afterlife and Venom 2. And Ghostbusters Afterlife was presented first, then Venom 2. And I gotta say, I liked Venom 2 more. Again, not a high bar to clear. I liked the first half of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Like, it felt like almost like an indie Ghostbusters movie. But I think where it starts turning is like Paul Rudd goes to Walmart. From
that sounds like the title of like a short film.
Paul Rudd goes to Walmart. Yeah, I mean, there's a scene in Walmart where you could just snip that out, and that's a short film right there. But yeah, like from that scene on, I didn't like, and I know a lot of people like love this part. Like I'm in the minority of liking the first half. A lot of people don't like the first half and they like the last half. I don't like the last half because of like the pandering of like, hey, here's the old Ghostbusters back. Here they are. They're doing the lines you remember.
Yeah.
It's like,
you know what would have been so ballsy is if they got all of the surviving like original cast members of the Ghostbusters back, and then on camera, like an actual snuff film, just shoot Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Rick Moranis in the head.
I would have died laughing. I would have been like, that is
laughing at those three men's actual death.
Of any. Oh, I thought you meant in the movie.
Oh no! I was saying like actually kill them on camera and put them in the movie.
Because I was going to say, like, of any, because Ghostbusters, all of them are comedies. Of any of the jokes told in a Ghostbusters movie, that would have been the funniest one to me. You would have got the biggest laugh from me from that.
Ghostbusters come back only to immediately get shot in the head.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And then like they don't come back as ghosts. They get shot in the head. It's like, where'd they go? And it's like, oh, it turns out like all the ghosts aren't dead people. They're just like spectral manifestations from the multiverse. Turns out there is no afterlife. Heaven, hell, not real. There's nothing.
Which there's one part that a lot of people love from Ghostbusters Afterlife. Do you care about spoilers for this?
Oh, not at all. Not even remotely. Okay. Not for Ghostbusters.
Because I think you're going to like this part. So the old Ghostbusters, they come back. They're trying to beat the big bad ghost, whatever it is. I can't remember. Trying to beat the big bad ghost. And the young Ghostbusters are also trying to beat it. And it's like, we can't do this. We're not powerful enough. And keep in mind, I can't remember the actor's name. One of the actual actors like died.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't remember.
Harold, I think. Harold something.
Harold Ramis.
Yeah. Okay. So Harold Ramis is actually dead.
Yeah.
And this little girl is kind of the main character. And she's like trying to do the ghost busting, and like Harold Ramis was her granddad. That's how like this lineage happens, basically. Her getting this sort of stuff. He was her granddad, and he's been dead in this movie universe for like at least a decade or something.
Yeah.
And she's blasting the ghost with the other Ghostbusters, and she's like, I can't do it. He's just too powerful. And then the ghost of Harold Ramis appears beside her.
Yeah.
And basically, like, I can't remember if he like places his arm on her shoulder, or he has like a ghost version of a Ghostbuster gun or something. Basically, what I'm trying to say is they do the father-son Kamehameha in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh my!
And it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Like, no one talks about that. A lot of people love this scene. When I saw it, yes, I had a little bit of an eye roll when I saw it. I was laughing though. Luckily, I was in my car because it was a drive-in movie theater. I was in my car just laughing. I was like, this is so ridiculous. What is happening here?
Oh my god. A father-son proton pack Kamehameha.
Yeah, that's literally what it was.
Between a granddad and his granddaughter.
And they beat the ghost from that.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, our version's better. Our version where they just get all the original Ghostbusters, line them up, and shoot them in the head. And then there's no actual afterlife for them. They just go nowhere. They go into the void.
Look, some of the jokes are decent in the Ghostbusters movies. I'm not going to deny that. But that would have been the funniest joke to me. And also, I think part of the humor comes with me knowing how butthurt a lot of people are going to be if that was in the movie.
Oh, exactly. Like that, and see, that's the thing. Like, I'm one of those twisted people where I'm like, the angrier this gets, like the nerdiest nerds who like this thing, the funnier it is to me.
Yeah, especially when it's stuff that like ultimately does not matter. Because there's like stuff that can happen that is like twisted and stuff like that I'm not going to laugh at because it does have like real world consequences type stuff. Like I feel bad, but this stuff doesn't matter at all.
No,
it's Ghostbusters, and you could say that about any property, any anime, any movie, anything like that. Like even if it's something I love, if they pulled something like that, I'd be a little bit upset. About a week from now, I'm probably going to be laughing a little bit because I'll be like, haha, they pulled one over on me. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm going to, real quick, just to annoy a bunch of my fellow nerds because I hate them. I'm going to rattle off some things real quick.
Okay.
Number one, I'm glad that the next Dragon Ball anime isn't a continuation of Super and is, in fact, reverting Goku and a bunch of other characters to a child form.
Oh, yes, they're doing GX or GT, whatever.
Yeah, they're basically just doing GT again. But, like, it's different because, like, Vegeta's a kid now, too. And I think, like a bunch of the characters are getting reverted to child forms. But, like, the thing is, Toriyama's directly involved with this and seems genuinely excited for the product. And that's a good thing. It
should be good.
Because Toriyama is one of those creators who has proven that if he actually enjoys what he's doing, he's going to make something really good.
And I'm not saying this is the case, but a lot of times when he does stuff with little kids, it's usually more focused on adventure than action. So maybe we'll go back to kind of classic. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fighting because people expect that, but maybe more classic adventure stuff with Dragon Ball.
Yeah, classic Dragon Ball stuff. And like Toriyama is a really, really funny writer.
Oh, yeah, he's hilarious.
Like early Dragon Ball is some of the funniest manga I've ever read. So like, just let him do what he wants to do. You're going to get something good out of it. So what if it's not Super 2? Like we can get that later. Right now, just let Toriyama cook.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm glad for Dragon Ball, whatever it's called. I don't remember, Daima or something like that. All right, number 2 thing, and this is one that's going to hurt people for eternity because it's been however long and they still aren't over it. I think it's been like 2019, so it's like, or well, actually no, 2017 at this point. So it's been about 7 years since the Rise of Skywalker not Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi came out. So I'm gonna say some stuff right here. The Star Wars sequels were fine. Until the third one, the only mistake made was trying to backtrack what Rian Johnson did.
Yeah.
So, but Star Wars fans don't count as people, so it's okay if they get upset. Star Wars fans are worms. They are grubs. They are in the dirt. They're dirt things. They're dirt people.
And I've been burnt out on Star Wars for a while. So
yes, Star Wars fans are just a bunch of scab encrusted, fungally infected mole people. All right, there was a third thing. I think there was a third thing. Oh, right. I'm happy that changes were made to Taskmaster in the Black Widow movie because honestly, that character, I mean, not the most interesting character in that movie anyway, but also not the most interesting character in the comic books. No one has any right to be up in arms over changes made to Taskmaster. I can't think of a single person whose favorite he is.
Yeah, like I don't think before that it was maybe a handful of people who legitimately were like, he's my favorite villain or my favorite character as a whole. I think that pretty much did not exist, maybe with just a few people. And I'm not a big Marvel person, but the stuff I've read with Taskmaster, like the interesting part about him is like the action and stuff that happens because of his power. But him as a character, I don't know much about or really care.
Okay, I've read plenty with Taskmaster in it because I am a big Marvel guy. So let me break down Taskmaster's character for you. Deathstroke, but he tells a joke every once in a while. That's it. He's like a less funny Deadpool in terms of personality. And like by design, by the way, not like less funny as in they're trying to make him as funny as Deadpool failing. I mean less funny as in like he's a character who takes himself more seriously, but not quite as seriously as like Deathstroke in DC does. But still, like he's a generic mercenary character with a cool set of abilities. Like he studies other people's fighting styles and imitates them. That's the whole thing.
I was gonna say, including myself, I think most people, like if they like Taskmaster in any bit or like anything about him, it's because the costume. I think the costume. I like the costume. It's because the costume and the powers. Like, that's it. We don't. So, none of us really care or know about the man himself.
Yeah. So like all of the people complaining about changes made to Taskmaster are only complaining for one of two reasons. One, they're complaining because it was a change at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have those fans who think that these movies need to be perfect reflections of the comics. And I'm not saying perfect recreations of the storylines, because every time you bring that up, they're like, I don't expect it to be a perfect remake of the comic. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you expect it to be a perfect reflection of the comic books, and that's not possible. That's just not going to happen no matter what anyway.
Yeah.
To be a reflection of the comics doesn't mean it has to be a one-to-one adaptation. It just means that like you're expecting it all to look and feel exactly the same, it was never going to happen.
Right.
And the second group of people are complaining that there was a woman in the movie. There's another woman, which they were already upset that a woman was the main character anyway. This female character who has been present in these movies, up to that point had been present in them for 11 years, and also like is a major character in the comic books as well. It's like if you want these movies to reflect the comic books, like Black Widow has had her own comic series on and off for a long time. What's wrong with her getting a full movie?
Yeah.
And sure, that particular Black Widow movie, like that particular story that was being told, probably would have been better if it had come out in like 2017 or something, because that's right after, that's like the year after Captain America Civil War. So yeah, like did her solo movie and specifically that story revolving around her come out a few years too late? Sure, yeah, technically, but also whatever, dude. Like a lot, like they're allowed to tell the story out of order if they want. It's like, it's not, people complain about nothing.
Yeah. And it was a fine movie. I remember watching it and be like, oh, it's not bad. I didn't think it was like great, but I thought I enjoyed myself. It was an enjoyable time.
Brandon, name something else nerds care about and I'll come up with something to make them mad.
Okay. This might hit a little close to home. One Piece.
Okay. I think that the series continues to be fine after the time skip. I don't like, yeah, the story does take a pretty big shift and it becomes, and yeah, I'm going to be honest, like it does drag a bit, But but yeah, like One Piece continues to be fine after the time skip. The art style is just fine. Like every manga author's art style changes over time, and the thing is, it's just more obvious in One Piece because that it's been going for so long.
Right.
Like you look at some manga authors, and it's like the changes from over time are less noticeable because they're moving on to different titles. Like they finish one and move on to another thing. But like with One Piece, like Oda's been working on just One Piece for a quarter of a century. So like it's more noticeable the shifts in the art style because you're reading the same series. Like Luffy in chapter 1 doesn't look like Luffy in chapter 1000.
Right.
Like he's got the same basic like cosmetics foundation, but other than that, like the way Oda draws characters has changed because it's been 25 years. So
and also like sure, if you did that comparison of looking at characters from the first chapter to the 1000th chapter, obviously there's going to be big major differences, but I'm sure if you are reading it, like it's not as noticeable because it's a slow progression. Because
it's
like
it's
you
a
said,
very
over
gradual,
20 years reaching that basically.
Yeah, it's a very gradual change, and a lot of people, there are some people who say that like Oda's art starts to dip over time, but seriously, like he's been doing it for 20 years. It's gonna change. Things just change.
Yeah.
Because like you look at some other manga authors like Tite Kubo, the author of Bleach. Now I would say that his art style just goes from good looking to a different kind of good looking.
Right.
Because Kubo is just a naturally talented artist. And like the good looking art for early Bleach works for early Bleach, and it changes into a different kind of good looking art that works for later Bleach over time. Like, because there are noticeable differences in the way the characters are drawn from chapter 1 to chapter whatever the last one was of Bleach. But the thing is, like, both styles look really good.
Yeah.
Like, because and then like you look at other manga authors like Masashi Kishimoto, the author of Naruto. There is no denying that early Naruto is a lot rougher than later Naruto in terms of the visuals. Like his line work is just rougher in early Naruto, and then you look at later Naruto and it's like ridiculously clean.
Yeah.
And like now that one is one of those ones where like you look at it and objectively Kishimoto's art improved over time. Like yeah, early Naruto still looked decent. It was passable. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not saying it looked bad because I don't think it did. But you know it and again it worked for those early stages. But like yeah, for him in particular, there's no denying that the art improved over time. But yeah, One Piece, like, the most annoying thing you can say about One Piece is that it's fine as it is. Like it's just fine the way it's going. Honestly, the saying things about One Piece to make people mad, it's not even to make the One Piece fans mad. Saying that One Piece is good is more than likely just going to make Dragon Ball fans mad again, because Dragon Ball fans don't like hearing that anything other than Dragon Ball is good when it comes to anime.
Yeah.
Even though now, you know, Dragon Ball's, I wouldn't even put Dragon Ball in the top 20 personally. But
I think I've only watched maybe 30 to 40 anime in total. Yep. Dragon Ball would probably be my top 20 just because I haven't watched enough anime, but definitely not in top 10. I don't even think top 15.
No.
In the little bit of anime I've watched.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of anime, and Dragon Ball is it's not up there. And like and I've had and seen discussions online of because Dragon Ball fans are so insistent that Dragon Ball is like the father of the shonen genre. No, that is objectively untrue. Fist of the North Star is the father of the shonen genre. Like there's no debate about that. There is no argument to be had here. Dragon Ball fans are just that delusional. Fist of the North Star is the father of the shonen genre as we understand it, and like I've seen some debates online of like Dragon Ball fans being like, yeah, but like Dragon Ball's the one that inspired all the ones that are going now. Again, not totally true. Yes, a lot of manga authors who started writing stuff that came up after Dragon Ball say that Dragon Ball is one of their favorites, and it is true that Dragon Ball heavily inspired One Piece and Naruto in particular. However, there's also a lot of other influences visible in those things, even outside the world of manga.
Right.
Like, for example, Naruto, especially as it gets going, takes obvious influence from, like, Hunter x Hunter. One Piece draws most of its inspirations from outside of manga. One Piece is very heavily inspired by Tom and Jerry, as well as, like, actual real-world history, especially as it pertains to pirates. So, like, Dragon Ball, obviously, you know, the direct influence of Dragon Ball on One Piece is minimal.
Right.
Plus, later One Piece also starts drawing on some Hunter x Hunter inspirations. Even though One Piece started publishing before Hunter x Hunter did, Hunter x Hunter established the Nen power system pretty early in its run, which clearly had an effect in the Haki power system from One Piece that came in much later.
Right.
So it's you know, there's more than just Dragon Ball. Yu Yu Hakusho is extremely influential. Like there's one discussion I saw online where someone was saying, like, you know, Dragon Ball's the father of the shonen genre, and someone refuted it with the correct statement that, like, actually Fist of the North Star is the father of the shonen genre. And then the initial poster came back with, like, yeah, but people don't remember the first, they remember the best. And I was tempted to say, that's funny, I rarely see Yu Yu Hakusho brought up in these discussions. But I didn't say anything. Because the posts that I saw were already hours old, and I didn't want to be that one random guy who just pops into that debate hours later being like, actually, it's like, yeah, no. But, like, yeah, objectively speaking, and yes, I have the authority to speak objectively. I would say Yu Yu Hakusho stands head and shoulders above Dragon Ball in terms of quality, at least as a shonen action series. Had Dragon Ball stayed an adventure comedy, you know, it would be a lot better in my opinion. Now, that's not to disparage Toriyama's skills as, like, an action manga author, because goodness gracious, can that man choreograph a fight scene?
Yeah.
Like, Toriyama does great action choreography, and that's visible even from the first chapters of Dragon Ball, because he uses the action very well to amplify the comedy, as well as actually have decent action scenes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bits when Yamcha is first being introduced is a bit where Yamcha and Goku are going to fight each other, and when Goku swats Yamcha hits the top of the panel and smacks back down into the ground. It's like there's a little fourth wall humor in the action choreography as well. Because, like, Yamcha, like, he not only hits the top of the panel, he, like, splits it so that, like, a chunk of the line is going flying before he, like, smacks back down into the dirt. It's a really funny panel.
That's funny.
But yeah, like, Goku sends him flying so hard he hits the fourth wall and bounces back.
Now, so you tackled Star Wars. You tackled, what was the thing before that or after that?
Dragon Ball. I talked about
Dragon Ball. Tackled One Piece. Now, I guess
and Marvel.
getting
Marvel thing too.
Marvel. That's what it was. Yeah, I was trying to remember. Now, going a little bit more niche, but these are kind of the most vocal people I've seen sometimes. Comic controversies, or what I mean is like stuff that, like, isn't that big of a deal, or people are too in love with.
Okay, so like comic books is what you're saying. You cut
Comic
out
books. It can either be comic books, comic book characters, or the writers themselves.
Okay. So like I'm addressing the people who discuss these things, not like I'm not like addressing the writers, right? Just making sure.
Right. Yeah, the people.
Okay. All right. All right. This is gonna hit a little close to home for some nerds out there. You have no ownership over any of the characters that you love, nor do you have the right to feel any sense of entitlement to them.
It's true.
The creators of the content that you consume owe you nothing. You did not grant them their success. They created something you enjoyed. You started reading it. And even after you've stopped enjoying it, they don't owe you the story you want. They're telling the story they're telling. Now,
Here.
if that alienates a large enough portion of people that it results in the failure of what they're creating, so be it.
Right.
But the people consuming the product still have no right to demand the story they want told. This is something that I've actually thought a great deal about as someone who wants to create for a living. Because I have really specific stories I want to tell. And I am anticipating that, like, when I go in certain directions, some people will be upset with it. And, I have to make peace with that idea because, I am anticipating the potential for people to try to demand that the story go the way they want it to go. But you have to remember, creators, like I said, they don't owe you the story you want told.
Right. Yeah.
How I'm trying to think of a right. You didn't grant them success out of the goodness of your heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people, whenever someone says that, like, well, it's their story and they're telling it the way they want, a big response is like, yeah, but the fans gave them the success to get this far, so they owe it to the fans to give them what they want. You did not give them that success. They earned the success from you, from the merit of their work, and you enjoyed it. And
you've enjoyed that work up until this point.
What's that?
I was saying they've enjoyed that work up until this point. This one thing they disagree with.
Exactly. You rewarded them the success that they earned from you as someone who enjoyed it. Now, again, if you're not enjoying it anymore, stop rewarding them the success. That's the vote with your wallet part that a lot of these butthurt babies like to say is supposed to work until they do vote with their wallet and things continue along the trends that they didn't like, thus demonstrating their insignificance in the face of something they used to enjoy changing.
Yeah.
It like nothing is going to hurt a nerd's pride more than them stopping indulging in a thing they loved, and then the thing continues on just fine without them, because it makes them realize that they weren't a part of it, and they have no ownership over it, and it was never truly theirs.
That's true.
So yeah, give up on the idea that you're entitled to your entertainment appealing to you, and I'm not trying to and again, these are the kinds of nerds who complain about pandering, but they're the ones demanding pandering the loudest.
Yeah. And the thing is, like if the story you're loving shifts a way that you disagree with, or you don't like, or you just hate, where it's like, no, I saw it going this way or whatever. I'm not trying to speak of a place of privilege or anything. I'm not at all. Like in terms of me making comics, I work hard to save that money. Like, I'm paying out of pocket. What I'm getting at is, if there's something you disagree with, make you a comic. Yes, it can't be that exact character. It can't be Batman or whatever. Make your own. It doesn't even have to be a comic. Write you a story, write fan fiction or whatever that is basically, hey, this happened. this is my story and this happened.
Yeah, write stories of Batfellow.
Yeah.
And Bird Boy, and tell those stories. Tell the Batman stories that you think should have been told with Batman knockoff characters. That's perfectly legal as long as he's distinct enough.
The reason I mentioned that is that's how a lot of indie comics, not saying all indie comics, but a lot of indie comics come out that way, where it's I've wanted to see this character do this, but they never did. So now I'm going to make my own character that's similar to them, and they're going to do this thing I've never seen them do. Or it could literally be a story beat, a story arc that happens, that something happens in the real Marvel, DC, Image, whatever comic that you strongly disagree with, and you thought it should have went a different route. So then you're like, I'm going to make a comic that is a character that's similar like this, but instead it goes this direction.
Yeah.
You can do that. And I understand comics cost a lot to make. Like they do. I save up for them. It can be a pain in the butt, but if you like it enough, if you want to do it enough, you'll do it. Let's say if you're still like the money thing is a big thing, for your satisfaction, you can simply just write it. Like for your satisfaction, you can write it. You know what that costs? That costs nothing. You likely have a phone or a laptop. You can just write it. That costs you nothing.
Yeah. Like just to satisfy your desire for how the story could have gone. And you know what? Like again, if you make like original characters out of it, like post it online somewhere, start a blog or something.
Yeah.
And like see if other people agree with you, and that can lead to success too. But yeah, like, because you don't have to sit in your dissatisfaction with the direction that the characters you care about are going. You just need to understand that there's nothing you can do to change like the story as it's happening. Like your voice is insignificant. Not enough people agree with you.
Yeah.
To make things change as they are, like in the comics.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, because there are plenty of things that I see where like there are a lot of people still complaining about like some legacy characters that Marvel tried out back in like 2016, 2017. There are people still complaining about like the existence of Ironheart, or the fact that they even tried to, have Amadeus Cho be the Hulk. There are people still whining about Jane Foster as Thor, even though like the premise of that made it temporary.
Right. Yeah.
Like the foundational premise of Jane Foster's time as Thor made her a temporary replacement. Like Jason Aaron himself went into that story with the understanding that Jane wasn't permanently going to be Thor.
As well as if you're complaining about all that Marvel Now stuff, like almost all of that is almost a decade old by now.
And has been undone.
Yeah. It has been undone. Yeah.
But the fact there's still people complaining about that sort of stuff, and like they talk about how firstly they say that the writers nowadays are selfishly changing the characters to fit their own images, which that's just no, like the writers are not being selfish, they're writing the stories. Secondly, they aren't changing the existing characters. They were introducing a lot of legacy characters at the time, but and then like nowadays I'm seeing a lot of people say like they should just introduce like new legacy characters to carry on the mantles instead of dragging the old characters like through the mud endlessly. It's like they tried that. They tried to do that. They tried to do exactly that, and you complained about it then.
Yeah.
There is literally nothing that the writers at these comic book companies are going to be able to do to satisfy the old gatekeeping comic book fans. Like the old generation of comic book fans needs to just stop reading comic books and go do something else.
Yeah. And the satisfying, like not being able to satisfy, that's especially DC and Marvel in terms of being able to satisfy these older comic fans, or these comic fans that have these complaints of like, oh, like this why are you making this legacy character? What the heck? I don't want that. And then you make a brand new character that isn't tied to any legacy, like they said. And it's like, oh no, like why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Like basically saying what you said.
They complained about the actual new ideas too. They're like, who's going to care about this character? It's just another woke whatever.
Yeah, they complain about that. And that, I think that's mostly a Marvel and DC issue.
Yeah.
Because like with indie comics, and I'm not just talking about small fries. I am talking about the big people like Image, Boom, stuff like that. Like, I don't know, you can just hop over there if you're upset about it. Like, it's not just Marvel and DC, guys. Like, there's and that's another thing, is it's not just like, if you still want to be a part of superhero comics, but you're fed up with Marvel and DC for some reason, some old man reason, you're just fed up with it, jump over to Image or Boom or some other studio, because there's all sorts of superhero stuff that's still going on. Yes, those other studios like to show more than just freaking superheroes, but there's still superheroes over there.
Yeah.
And there's good stuff over there.
And there's even some stuff that isn't like specifically a superhero thing, but is like superhero flavored, like Hellboy.
Right. Yeah.
Or that.
Yeah.
No,
I like that series.
Yeah. But yeah, like, like Hellboy or I'm trying to think of other stuff.
Well, I mean, like currently, like, and yes, I know some of this stuff like is finished or has a finished run, but I don't know. I kind of like that. Like, I know this is directly a superhero thing, but I'm sure you enjoy it. You can jump over to Invincible, or if you're wanting something that's ongoing that is still going out right now, there's Radiant Black, especially if you love superheroes / Power Rangers, like the whole freaking Radiant Black. That's a whole universe. There's multiple titles of that. Black Hammer is still going. I think it's about to end, or it's about to take a break. Black Hammer is still going. Image is starting a big new superhero universe thing that I think is likely going to be big. Do what?
I haven't heard anything about this. What's going
It's called Ghost Machine. It's this universe. Like, have you heard, this came out like a year or two ago? Jeff Johns and Gary Frank's book Geiger.
Maybe
it's like this superhero that like almost looks like Dr. Phosphorus kind of.
Okay.
He's wearing like a cloak and stuff. That was like a big thing. And then a couple other books came out, like Junkyard Joe and stuff like that, which is basically what's the Creature Commandos? There's like a robot character.
Oh, I don't know enough about the Creature Commandos to name.
Basically, like Junkyard Joe is like, it's basically this DC robot character, basically.
Okay.
So you got Junkyard Joe, and then like there's a bunch of other titles that are coming out. And within the past year, like all these creators came together and were like, hey, let's make this one universe. It's called like the Ghost Machine universe. And I think this past week or the week before, they released a issue 1, like I think like a 64-page issue 1, that basically has little mini comics of all the titles pretty much that are coming out.
So it's kind of like a preview issue for like, here's what to expect.
Yeah. It's like a preview issue, but also like from what I heard, each story did seem satisfying. It didn't seem like 5 pages of just like random point in issue 1 of that comic. It feels like you read this and then you can hop into issue 1.
So it wasn't quite like a Marvel or DC free comic book day.
Yeah, not a free comic book day type thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mentioned that to say, like, if you don't want Marvel or DC stuff, or you're burnt out, or you're tired of it, or whatever, like superhero stuff is still going strong with all these other big publishers. So you could just hop over and check that stuff out. Like,
Yeah.
like yes, there are titles sometimes where I like it, and then like it's going down a path that's like, oh, like not really liking how this goes. But like we say all the time, like you just drop it and then hop to another series because there's thousands of comics out. Like, just hop to something else.
Yeah.
It's like with a movie or a TV show, like there's other stuff you can go enjoy. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just that one thing.
And you don't have to spend the rest of your life complaining about how this one thing you like stopped being enjoyable for you.
Yeah. It can,
Like,
that's the thing, is it can
drop it.
not be enjoyable for you. You can be like, I don't like this. And then you can just drop it and move on with your life and find that thing that you now like.
Like, I liked the Walking Dead TV show for about the first 3.5 seasons. And then it started to get too repetitive for me. And instead of whining about it online for years of my life, I just stopped watching and stopped thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think negativity reigns supreme in today's modern landscape.
Well, it's like I was talking about, I guess 2 weeks ago now, where I took a break from like MCU stuff, kind of just to like readjust the way I approach it. So it's like I need to be ready for Marvel to be a just for me thing again, like it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I kind of need to. I feel like I need to be ready for everything I like to be a just for me thing, or at least just for me and my friends sort of thing. Because I talk to my D&D group about anime all the time. In fact, I got them all into One Piece. So, like, I was the one who brought One Piece to my current friend circle.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of the stuff I consume nowadays, specifically movies and TV shows, because I don't have a ton of time for reading comics now. But yeah, like a lot of the movies and TV shows I watch it's just for me. It could be a show or a movie that came out like 25 years ago that no one is really talking about anymore, but I really like. Case in point, this was like a year ago when I saw it, but I still think about it because I have ideas for this if they ever want to revive this property. Michael Douglas's The Game. I really like that movie.
You're gonna
That
have
was
to
a good movie.
out right as the title was coming out of your mouth.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was saying The Game starring Michael Douglas. Good movie. It was a solid movie. I don't expect anyone to be talking about it. I don't expect them to do anything with the property ever again. But like, I don't know. I watched it for me, as well as like I made an idea, a concept for a freaking series for it for me. It's for me. Like I enjoy it. Movies I watch nowadays, it's usually like for me or for like me and my sister.
Yeah.
Like we like to discuss it or whatever.
For me personally, when it comes to like my immediate family members, their taste in entertainment isn't quite close enough to mine that I can have like in-depth conversations with them about anything that I enjoy. Like there are some things that we like generally as a family, but for the most part, like everything I like is pretty much just for me. So like one thing I'm looking forward to is having a permanent life partner, where she and I can just watch stuff together and she can't get away. And it's like, and
They
obviously,
always-
like, if our tastes don't 100% align, I'll watch her stuff too.
They always try to run when I mention a MCU marathon.
Oh my gosh, dude! I have a note in my phone about how to do not a marathon, but a kind of a viewing project.
Yeah, yeah.
Of like one like all right, so 6 nights a week. You get Sundays off. 6 nights a week. Watch one MCU movie until you hit the TV shows, and then you watch a certain number of episodes of one of the shows depending on episode length and also length of season per night.
Here's the thing. I've watched almost all of them, movies and TV shows, and I like most of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to do a one a night thing. like for me, it'd have to be like 2, maybe 3 a week.
Yes, but you see, Brandon, that's the difference between you and me. There's something wrong with me. My brain didn't develop right, I'm pretty sure. So,
and not saying I don't have
the
time
kind of
to
nut
watch
job.
them.
I am exactly the kind of nut job who would commit to this sort of BS.
Yeah, you are the one that has the whole DC project going on, as well as that's postponed. You have the manga literary project. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more committed to the manga study right now than the DC thing.
Yeah,
I'll go back to the DC thing eventually, but the manga thing is cheaper right now.
Right.
Because the Shonen Jump app is only like $3 a month, whereas DC I think is still like $7 a month.
Yeah, I can't do. I like more power to you. I can't do those type of commitments. If there's something that like whether it's like a movie series or whatever, like if there's something like let's say the MCU thing.
Yeah.
Let's say I did that.
Yeah.
Like not even with a loved one. Well, actually, let's say it's with a loved one because that gives me encouragement to watch these with them. Like more encouragement, motivation. There's going to be some where like I might not want to watch it that night, or there's going to be some where I'm just like, we can skip it. I'll give you the cliff notes. Like, let's watch something else tonight. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I just realized. So because the Netflix Marvel stuff has been reintroduced to the official MCU timeline, something that I realized is that means that before we even reach the Disney Plus shows, all right, before we reach anything that Marvel Studios actually produced as a TV show, amongst the I think was it 24 total movies in the Infinity Saga or 22?
I think it was 23.
23? Okay. So on top of the 23 movies in the Infinity Saga, there are also 11, 13 episode seasons of Marvel Netflix stuff, a 10 episode season, and an 8 episode season before we even reach the official ending of like the Infinity Saga.
You cannot do this to someone, Teo. Do not do this.
She got the ring on her finger. And she's allowed to do something equivalent. So it's an even trade-off. She can torment me in whatever way she sees fit.
Trying to think of a stereotypical chick show. But that's the thing is like some of those like stereotypical chick shows aren't bad. Like
No.
Gilmore Girls, like it's not bad.
Well, New Girl's pretty
enjoyable.
funny, at least early on.
Sex in the City, I'm sure has its perks.
Yeah. It's two great things, sex and the city. It's a win-win. What's that one? I'm trying to remember. There's one that I've forgotten the title of that I've seen a couple episodes of that's funny. Can't remember though. It'll come to me eventually, I think. I hope. But yeah, no. So yeah, I don't know if I'm ever actually going to do that to someone. I might use that as now. Yeah, again, I probably wouldn't actually do that as like a 6 nights a week sort of thing because that's like current, like right now, that's like almost a year. Of solid just Marvel every night except on Sundays.
Oh yeah.
I let you watch football on Sunday nights, honey. Mondays and Saturdays for Iron Man.
You need that space to where when it's like 3 p.m., your wife isn't just like, you look at her and you see her like basically thinking like, oh no, in 4 hours I'm gonna have to watch this movie. You need the space so she doesn't feel that for like a few days in a week when there's not so hot movies that come up.
Honey, why are you in such a down mood? Tonight's a Guardians of the Galaxy night. Those are the best ones.
She watches it and then like isn't a big fan of it. And she's like, oh no. He said those were the best ones.
Come on, we're watching the first Guardians of the Galaxy tonight. These are the best ones. You're gonna love these ones.
Man.
Sure, it's an Avengers one tonight, but the Guardians of the Galaxy are in this one.
I'm trying to think of like some realistic stuff that I would also want to rewatch, because there are some stuff where like the main reason you want to rewatch is to show it to someone.
Yeah.
I like the MCU. I don't even know if I want to do that. Like there'll be like certain ones. Like I'd love to watch like the Guardians trilogy.
Yeah.
With a loved one or something like that.
So if I really felt the need to like put the entire thing on display for someone I care about, realistically, it would be one a week. One movie a week. Good. And then like when we reach like shows, maybe a couple episodes every couple of nights.
Yeah.
So that's not totally relentless.
Yeah. She's like, burnt out like the next week.
Yeah. Just like for shows, spread those out over the course of like a week maybe, and then like so that way like you still have like your one thing for the week, but you're getting through the whole show in a relatively decent amount of time. And then like for the movies, like one a week.
Yeah. No, that's the thing is like there will be shows that I'll try to show my significant other one day. I think how I would start off would be movies and or trilogies. I already have a tested one. This was a test. My sister had never seen any of the new Planet of the Apes movies, like the trilogy.
Good choice.
Never had seen any of them. And I think the deal we had made was like I'd watch the Twilight movies if she watched all 3 of the Planet of the Apes movies, which I should mention, we have not finished the Twilight movies. I'm not going to bring it up. If she brings it up, sure, we'll watch them. We watched the first one and we watched New Moon, and then we got like 20 minutes into Eclipse or something and shut it off and decided to watch one of the Planet of the Apes movies. So, hey. That wasn't my decision. She wanted that. I was like, yes, thank you.
Dude, you didn't even get to the good Twilight movies. The first 3 Twilight movies are all pretty bad. So, but like I unironically like the 4th one. The 5th one's, it's okay. It continues more of the Twilight weirdness. But I actually like the 4th one as like a piece of horror, because it's a good horror movie.
Okay.
If you really dig into it, like it's not viscerally horrific. It's more of like a slow burn body horror sort of thing.
Okay. Because I've only seen the first and then New Moon, and the first one. Oh, what were you about to say?
Well, I was just going to ask, are you okay with spoilers for Twilight?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So finish your thought, and then I'll tell you why I think the first part of Breaking Dawn is a good horror movie.
Well, like the first Twilight, I think is good bad. It's a bad movie, but it is like it's funny.
Yeah.
Like how bad it kind of is. Like
Yeah.
it's entertaining because of that. Like I would, if someone was like, let's watch Twilight right now. Like let's say right now, I'd probably be down with it. I'm not going to watch it by myself.
Yeah.
But if someone was like, hey, let's watch the first Twilight, I'd probably do it because I had a fun time watching it just because of how funny and bad it is.
Yeah.
The second one has increased budget in terms of like it looks good. It looks and feels like a movie. The acting isn't as bad. Like this feels like a genuine movie, but it's so boring.
Yeah.
New Moon is so boring.
Yeah.
That's why I wish all of them were like the first Twilight, where it is poorly made and poorly acted, but that is the charm of it. I love it because of that.
Yeah, the first Twilight is really funny.
Yeah.
And New Moon and Eclipse are too well made to be funny. So
exactly.
Like you said. For me, Breaking Dawn Part 1 is a decent like body horror movie because it explores what a human woman being pregnant with a half vampire baby looks like in this world.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like Bella's pregnancy is unsettling.
Right.
And it's just I personally think it's a decently effective piece of body horror. And the thing is, like, the fact that it is kind of a slow burn into it, I think lends to it a bit. Because like a big part of the movie is like exploring Bella and Edward's like married life, because they get married like at the beginning of the movie, and and it explores like their they go on their honeymoon and everything. But then like on their honeymoon, Bella like is like insta pregnant, right? Like she and Edward bang maybe twice, and and his powerful vampire seed sows unlife into her womb. But yeah, and so like and then like from there it's this weird like vampire pregnancy body horror movie, and it's just it gets uncomfortable. It really does. Like the moment when Bella goes into labor in the movie is just it's kind of upsetting. You have to see it. Like, I'm not going to spoil too much more, but like
eventually we'll finish them. I'm not going to be the person that like brings it up.
Yeah.
So she brings it up.
Notice I used the words effective and not good or great. I don't think that Breaking Dawn Part 1 is bad as a piece of body horror because it does its job. It is actually pretty unsettling. But I'm not going to say it's like the best source for that kind of horror you can find.
Right.
But
in circling back, she originally, because she didn't know anything about it, didn't care about the Planet of the Apes movies. Similar to me with the whole Twilight thing.
Yeah.
We watched the first one. She really liked it. Watched the second one. Of course, she really liked it, if not more. And then watched the third one, and she liked all three. It was a great story. So she's my test run on this. So I can see that it works. If someone does not care or thinks this is stupid, the whole Planet of the Apes trilogy, I can then be like, well, let's try it out. And it seems like the person will probably like them more than their stupid movies they were about to show me.
Yeah, man. Those Planet of the Apes movies are definitely on my list of things to show a potential partner as well.
Yeah.
Because for me, I actually have a list. I've been putting together a list of like, because what I want to do is I want to present the idea of it as like an activity that can be done over a long period of time, where like
Right.
we show each other, we each put together like 5 movie trilogies or 3 movies from a series if it's longer than 3 movies. Like, but like a set of 5 franchises basically to show each other and sit through together, just to like share those little bits of ourselves with each other, because I feel like you can tell a lot about a person based on the kind of entertainment they enjoy.
Yeah,
not always, but frequently, you can glean things from of someone's personality from the things they like.
Well, if you ask someone like what's their top 5 movies, I know not everyone can say that. Most people will be like, "Oh, that's so hard." I don't know why people say that. It's like, have you never thought of that before? But that might just be a nerd thing. Like we think about that sort of stuff, and the average person doesn't. But
we're obsessed with ranking and categorizing things.
Yeah, we have issues. But
there's something wrong with us.
Yeah, but like like if you get someone's top 5 movies, you can tell like a decent bit, at least at the very least, you can tell like the stuff they like. Like if you were to give them movie recommendations, if you get their top 5, you can easily, if you've seen movies or shows, give them stuff that they would probably like. And their personality can also kind of be shown with their top 5. But yeah, like there's some like Letterboxd. Do you know Letterboxd? Do you know what that is?
I know what it is.
Okay, they have this thing. I've seen like TikToks of it. They have like top 4. Like people can do top 4. I had a Letterboxd at one point, but I never used it. I haven't used it in years because I don't like Letterboxd. Like I like indie stuff, but this feels like the indie pretentious people. Like I thought I was kind of pretentious with movies. No. There's a whole, however many people have downloaded Letterboxd, that's the number of pretentious movie people that are out there. And you'll see some top 4s that like, I get it. There are people that actually do like some of these, but some of these it's like, are you just trying to impress someone? Do you actually like that? Or are you just trying to be like indie and artsy fartsy? Like not this many people can like this artsy fartsy movie that I've seen. And I'm not trying to say I'm the objective ruling of it, but I don't see this many people liking this movie, or saying, I should say this. I could see people liking it. I don't see it being in someone's top 4.
Yeah. My top 4 movies are Moonlight, Roma, I think is the name of that one, that black and white one.
Yeah.
Brandon, give me a really good, like, pretentious indie movie.
Let's see, Moonlight, Roma. Here's the thing: the ones you're saying I do think are good, but yeah. Moonlight, Roma, Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Girl Walks Home Alone at Night and Tropic Thunder.
If someone put Tropic Thunder, which I could kind of see an indie person liking Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah,
because of the meta-ness and the commentary and stuff. But
yeah,
here's the thing. This might say a lot about me. I liked all 4 of those movies you said, but
I've only seen Tropic Thunder out of that entire list.
I wouldn't put any of those 4 in like my top 5 movies.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I could see someone's, not directly that, but I could see someone's top 4 or top 5 having at least a couple of those, and I'd be okay with that. What I meant by the pretentious stuff is like stuff that no one has seen before. Like what you said is indie. I'm talking about like indie, where it's like basically the person would describe it as like, oh, it's this art house hidden gem that more people should see. I saw it whenever I was walking down an alleyway, and a homeless man popped out of a dumpster, and he said, "Hey, I made this film, and I've got it on this little Temu projector. Would you like to hop into the dumpster and we can watch it together?" And I watched it with the homeless man, and my God, it was the most beautiful thing ever. You should go watch it. You should go. That's the only place you can see it. You have to go find the homeless man. You should go find that homeless man and watch it in that dumpster. That type of stuff.
Wow.
Like, there's a lot of crap like that. That is very annoying.
Yeah, that's pretentious indie stuff. Definitely. Yeah, and like I get it. I'm that way about animation a lot of the time. Like because like just the sheer amount of like foreign animation that I seek out is, the sort of thing where it's like, yeah, I had to travel to Spain and watch the animators draw these things onto the cells themselves to see the movie play out in front of me. Like, like obviously that's an exaggeration, but like, I get the need to seek something that like other people like haven't seen, just to have something like fun and obscure to recommend to people. But yeah, like getting that deep into it is like, that's a bit much.
No, that's the thing is like I like. I mean, literally yesterday, I went to FYE, wound up buying 2 movies that I'd never heard of, nor do I expect anyone to have ever heard of them. But it just looked entertaining, and I'll watch it, and then like maybe it'll be something that I recommend as a pretentious hidden gem guy. But it's not going to be one of those things where it's like, this is one of my favorite movies. It'll just be like, hey, this was a fun time. Because like Psycho Goreman was like that for me. I've seen more hidden gem type stuff. But when I saw Psycho Goreman, I was like, like this is pretty good. Yeah. I'll tell a couple people about this. But I wouldn't say Psycho Goreman's even in like my top 100 movies. Like, this is just a hidden gem that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like Psycho Goreman quite a bit, and I actually watched it on your recommendation. Like I had heard of it and intended to watch it before you told me about it, but your recommendation made it a priority. Yeah, it's pretty good. But again, just like you, it's like I wouldn't rank it very high in my list of movies. It's just a fun to recommend to people.
Yeah, it's a thing that like is unique and people haven't seen, so it's like, hey, check this out. Like, surprisingly, a lot of those come from me getting random stuff at thrift shops or the occasional FYE. Because like another one that pops in my head, it's a movie called Dead Sushi. It's a Japanese movie where it's zombie sushi, and it's sushi chefs and stuff like fighting zombie sushi. Great time. It's extremely stupid. So if someone doesn't like stupid movies, they are not going to like this movie. But yeah, like I don't know, like finding those like little weird movies that like no one has ever seen.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch. I'm not saying that's the issue at all.
Yeah,
my issue is saying that these are somehow in your top 5. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Now I will say, if I were to make like a top 5 animated movies specifically, there would be some weird obscure stuff in there. I've seen some pretty fun cartoons, but yeah, like a top 5 movies, there's definitely at least 2 animated movies in my top 5. But like, yeah, my personal top 5 isn't going to be anything like groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, for my top 5, if I'm allowed to put like trilogies in there, 3 of my top 5 movies would be film trilogies.
Right. Yeah.
If I'm not allowed to put trilogies in there, then it gets a little more complicated. But
because yeah, like in my top 5, I might have a couple, I put in quotes, indie stuff, but really the stuff like isn't that indie. Like one would be Whiplash. I like the movie Whiplash. It is indie, but like it's not that indie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's decently well known.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, if I were to name my top 5 right now, off the top of my head, in no particular order, And like I said, 3 of these are film trilogies, so it's up to you to determine whether or not that counts. Do trilogies count? I'm asking you right now.
I will allow it, but I will allow the trilogies. But when you're done, I want a footnote saying which of those in the trilogy, which one of that trilogy you like the most.
Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, top 5 in no specific order: Prince of Egypt, Red Line, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Probably the third one is my favorite of those 3, just because it's like, you know, the culmination of everything. Actually, you know what? My favorite is the third one for all 3 of the trilogies that I'm about to mention, because they're like, you know, as the ending of the trilogy, it's like it builds on everything that the other 2 put together and, you know, finishes it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's hard for me. It's hard not to pick the third one, especially if it's a really strong finish, which all 3 of these do have. So anyway, so all together, the Prince of Egypt, Red Line, Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Planet of the Apes trilogy with Andy Serkis as Caesar. Again, the third one's the favorite there. And the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Again, third one's the favorite there.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. But yeah, the only genuinely obscure movie on that list, though, and only because it's anime, I would say is probably Red Line.
Right.
And even then, like, amongst anime fans, Red Line is not obscure. It's actually pretty popular.
Yeah, like and we talked about how we're like list people. Like, I would have to do more thinking about what is my top 5. I could say top 3 because like it sticks all the time. Like for me, it's, and like you said, no particular order. They're all kind of tied for number 1. For me, it's like Dark Knight, The Matrix, and Whiplash. Like I love all 3 of those movies. But for like a 4 and 5 spot, I'd have to think a little bit more because there's a ton of movies I love, and it's hard saying which would be better. But those 3, like, I'd say are my favorite movies. Though, whatever that says about me.
You said Dark Knight,
psychoanalyst out there. Do what?
You said Dark Knight, Whiplash, and I forgot what the other one was.
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
So I'm just
or all 3.
The first.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just a basic, like, dude who watches movies.
Yeah.
Not a film buff or anything. This is just do what?
You're just a basic movie hoe.
Basically, yeah.
That's okay. We both are.
But I mean, there's a lot of movies I like that maybe would be in top 10. I have no idea. Like a movie that comes to mind. I don't think it'd be top 5 or anything. But like Peanut Butter Falcon with Shia LaBeouf, like, love that movie. It's such a great movie. Do what?
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. He doesn't eat the guy with Down syndrome in that movie. Thankfully. Even though the guy calls himself Peanut Butter Falcon, Shia LaBeouf restrains. He's not. He isn't like, I heard peanut butter. Ooh, he's coated in peanut butter. Yummy. So he doesn't eat the guy. Thankfully,
himself by referring to himself as a falcon. I can justify it by saying it's poultry. Wild poultry.
Yeah, but yeah, now thinking about it, my top 3 are somewhat big movies, but I think any of the movies that followed after would be semi-indie movies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I like that's kind of indie. But yeah. Oh, and there was something, dang it, there was something I was going to ask earlier. I forgot.
If you forgot, then it's probably not that important.
It can't be that important.
Cut to Kid standing in the rain with whatever it was your question was overlaid on top of him.
Yeah. That's in like all the sitcoms. That's at the very end. Then it plays the ending credit song.
Well, yeah, because this is the we're doing the 2.5 Men meme.
Yeah. Okay, I can't remember what I was going to ask, so I guess I'll just mention something else.
New question.
The new question. The new question is: 2024 is upon us.
Yeah.
And what movies are you looking forward to, if any?
What movies am I looking forward to? There are a few. Though a lot of them are coming at like the front of the year.
Okay.
For starters, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is probably going to be the first one you guys see in the theater this year.
Yes.
Godzilla X Kong.
Nice,
I'm looking forward to that because it's Godzilla and Kong in a movie together again for the first time in 3 years.
Godzilla, he got special power. He pink.
Godzilla goes Super Saiyan Rose.
Yeah.
And Kong has a fancy glove. It's gonna be good.
And they're gonna fight other big monkey.
They fight other big monkey. And everybody's upset that Godzilla is running away from something, and it's like, calm down, it's just a drawing. But yeah, two monkey movies right off the bat are ones that I'm super excited for.
What are we? 50s comics? What's with all these monkeys and these apes popping up everywhere?
Dude, if I was a kid in the 50s, that absolutely would have worked on me. I would have bought every single comic book with a gorilla on the cover. Because
I guess it was just
that easy.
I guess it was just a bunch of like you back in the 50s. Because the reason I mentioned that is like comic YouTubers or comic historians or whatever will sometimes ask the question of like, or make the joke of like, this was popular back then, or why was this popular back then? It's because you had thousands of Teos out there. They're like, yes, please.
Yes, you had thousands of kids who just got excited to see gorillas and stuff. Because gorillas, as terrifying as they are super cool.
Yeah.
Like monkeys are the coolest, and I genuinely have no idea why I feel this way. They're such interesting animals. It's like, yes, I'm all for Big Monkey. I'm inclined to say that's not the reason I love the Planet of the Apes movies so much. I want to say that I like them because the story they tell is genuinely interesting, and I love the characters. But also the fact that all the important characters are monkeys definitely helps.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, and also I like King Kong in general. Like,
yeah.
When Godzilla versus Kong came out, Kong was the one I was rooting for. I knew it was unlikely he was going to win, but I wanted him to win anyway.
So are the movies? Are there any more movies, or is it exclusively monkey movies this year for you?
We brought it up earlier. I am technically looking forward to Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
I should probably see Deadpool 2 at some point.
It was a decent watch. I only saw it in theaters. I haven't watched it again since.
Yeah. Are there any other movies coming out this year that I'm excited for? That's actually hard to think about. Because the thing is, like, a lot of the time for stuff that isn't related to a giant franchise, I usually find out about it like the year that it's coming out. Like, I know about this stuff because I've known about it for years in advance.
I gotcha.
And now
let me look up to see.
Finally out.
Let me see if I can see, and I'll list almost all of these. I'm sure you're going to want to see almost all of these.
Okay.
Lay
it on me. Like, hit me, Daddy. Hit me.
I'm going to go past where we are now because it's showing January. I'm sure you already saw Mean Girls. You saw Book of Clarence. Or you're going to see Argyle. All right, let's see.
Argyle does actually look kind of interesting. I don't know if I would say I'm excited for it though.
It looks decent. I'm not going to see it in theaters, but I'll probably rent it. I'll probably rent it when it comes out.
Like I said, I think my first movie in the theater this year is going to be Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, I'm scrolling now. I think this is my first like genuine, like it's probably the next movie I'm going to see in theaters. Lisa Frankenstein. I don't know if you've seen the trailer of that pop up in like any of the movies you saw the past month or two.
I've heard nothing of this. What is that?
So I recommend seeing the trailer because I think the trailer is great. I don't think the movie's going to be as good as the trailer, but I love the trailer. It's basically this like, and I also don't know when it's set, like time period wise. I think it's set in modern day, but it feels kind of like a late 80s, 90s type feel. It's this goth girl who, this goth high schooler, Teo.
Oh, man.
This goth high schooler who is played by the actress Ant-Man's daughter in the recent movie.
Catherine Newton?
Yeah. So this goth high schooler who basically makes a Frankenstein boyfriend, kind of. Okay. But I don't think it starts out as like a boyfriend thing, but it kind of becomes that.
Okay.
The trailer looks very energetic and funny, though. It seems like it's mostly a comedy movie, but like a dark comedy. Because the way it looks like they kind of go on like an accidental killing spree in a way.
Oh my God.
She's like trying to hide this Frankenstein who's played by Cole Sprouse.
Okay.
She's trying to hide this Frankenstein all while he either kills people or they accidentally kill people. And the trailer ends with them like burying a body and stuff, but it's the way it's shot and stuff, it's very funny. Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it because it seems like something different.
Yeah, I'll have to give that one a look because I like Frankenstein and I like dark comedies.
Yeah, but Lisa Frankenstein is what it's called.
Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah. And then the most anticipated movie of the year, Madam Web, February 14th.
Oh, yeah.
The perfect Valentine's Day night.
And then Madam's all over the bad guys.
This is the perfect Valentine's Day date, Madam Web.
And you know why Madam's all over the bad guys? Because one of them was in the Amazon with her mom when she died while studying spiders or something.
Sounds right. But yeah.
And then they find out why that guy's called the Rhino.
All right, let's see. The next one is that there's like a Bob Marley biopic that's coming out.
Got something to do with Spider-Man. I'm just mixing all the stupid, all the bad lines together.
Yeah.
Another musician biopic.
Yeah.
Yeah, next.
Yeah, I'm not going to see it in theaters unless it gets like really great reviews. But
I don't even care about Bob Marley normally, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a skip altogether.
I honestly like his son's music more, but yeah, it might be a rental for me or something. Hey, if it is better than that Rami Malek Queen movie,
yeah,
I'm for. Everyone liked that movie. I don't like that movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. Next one. Okay, this one genuine. I am looking forward to this. Dune Part 2, March 1st.
I still haven't seen the first Dune.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I really like the first Dune. And whenever I walked out of that movie theater and saw, because I looked up like, oh, is like the sequel, when's the sequel coming out? And I saw they're making one more, Part 2. I was a little bit disappointed because I was like, this felt like it was building a trilogy.
Yeah.
Like Dune 1 felt like the start of a trilogy. You're telling me there's only one more? Like it feels like they're going to have to put a lot in the second one.
Well, here's the thing
But-
about Dune is it's an entire there's an entire book series, and I think
Right,
these two
right.
movies are just the first book. I don't know if they plan on adapting any of the rest. I always heard weird things about the ones after the first one.
But I'm not saying it's like I'm really looking forward to it, but I definitely am going to go see it. Let me see what's after that. What's some Roadhouse? Oh boy, they're making a Roadhouse reboot.
A Roadhouse reboot.
Yippee!
I never even saw the original Roadhouse.
I never did either.
The only Roadhouse I care about is Texas Roadhouse.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the only stuff with Roadhouse is like if I heard about it from a YouTuber bringing it up, or my mom every now and then bringing it up because she liked Patrick Swayze, or the random. I think there was a whole episode of Family Guy where like Peter learned how to roundhouse kick or something.
Yeah.
And that was a joke that would happen every now and then. And he'd roundhouse kick someone, knock him out, and then it just have a close up of him being like, Roadhouse.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So stupid. All right, let me see. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, March 22nd.
All right, that's the
Yay.
sequel to Afterlife. Oh boy, are you excited for that one, Brandon? I know you liked Afterlife so much.
Oh, gosh, that's the thing is like, if they backtracked and were like, okay, the first half of Ghostbusters Afterlife, we're going to do more of that stuff, I'd be at least a little interested in it. But no, when I saw the trailer, I clearly saw they doubled down on the last half where it's like,
Yeah.
the old guys are back.
Well, because that's the
They're
part that
back.
everybody liked. Everybody other than you liked.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked indie Ghostbusters. That's what that first half of Afterlife was. It was indie Ghostbusters, and it was
Because
fun.
the way you described the second half of that movie, it just sounds ghoulish.
It's like it clearly is like if you're a marketing person and you realize that, I'm sorry, not all the movie watchers are a lot of the movie watchers are kind of stupid. I'm sorry.
Because most of them are just potatoes.
You're marketing towards the majority. That is the way to go. Let's bring the old people back. Let's have them say the exact same lines they said before. Let's have them do the same thing before where they cross streams. Oh, remember that from the past movie? Let's do member bears. Let's do
the first movie.
Let's do South Park member berries. Remember this? Remember when they cross streams? Remember when Bob, I was about to say Bob Marley. Bill Murray. Oh my God. Bill Murray. Remember when Bill Murray said this funny line? He's saying it again.
Do. Yes, I remember.
Somehow he remembers that same joke 40 years later, even though like it was just kind of a random conversation they were having. It's almost like he somehow knew that it's the funniest thing ever, and he just remembered it, and he's saying it again 40 years later.
Yeah.
Even though the context when he said it back then, it was just a simple little line of dialogue. But hey,
look, man, if it works, it works. I do understand.
And then also, let's get these idiots to cry at this heartfelt moment where we dig up the grave of Harold Ramis, literally and in the movie. Let's dig up the grave. Let's throw him in here. He's not alive, but we have the AI stuff, and we have the morally not that ethical whole throwing a dead guy into our movie thing, because we have all this footage of him, and we can do AI and CGI and stuff. And hey, he's here. He's a ghost. And the biggest part that people will love and clap and cry for and poop their pants is when he does the father-son Kamehameha with the granddaughter.
Yes. That was my favorite part of Dragon Ball as well. I do understand. I get this one. This is nothing like that one about the shell.
Yeah, but Frozen Empire, yippee. Paul Rudd, funny, woo.
Yeah, ooh,
right.
Yeah, funny man. Funny edge man, say funny thing.
I have no idea what this movie is. The first
Make us laugh,
Omen.
ageless
Skip.
man.
When's he gonna go to Walmart again?
Yeah. Tell joke.
Go to Walmart.
Tell joke, Rud man.
Do funny stuff in Walmart.
Do funny stuff in Walmart.
Oh, okay. So the next one, Godzilla Kong, April 12th. Okay, I didn't realize that was coming out so soon.
Oh, wait. Is that coming out before the new Planet of the Apes movie?
Yeah.
Okay, then that might be my first one in the theater this year.
Okay. So yeah, that's
I
April
want to
12th.
see both of those in the theater.
The next one isn't going to be in theater, but it's on this list apparently. Rebel Moon Part 2. It's that Zack Snyder Star Wars thing.
Star Wars?
Yeah, I never saw the first one. Probably
Me either. I've been meaning to watch that just to see if, just to have an opinion on it, basically.
Yeah, I get that.
Like a valid one, other than it's a Zack Snyder movie.
Yeah. That makes sense. Let's see. The next one is Challengers, which got memed to death, where it's Zendaya, and it seems like she's having a three-way with two other guys. Even though that's not the movie, the movie is about her being like this professional tennis player who, when she was younger, had this fling with these two guys, but now most of the movie takes place when she's older. It got memed because of the trailer scene with her with these two guys. Yeah. So everyone just sees it as the Zendaya three-way movie.
Honestly, yeah, I'd go to the theater to see Zendaya three-way movie.
All right, let me see. Civil War, not Captain America Civil War. It has nothing to do with Marvel or anything. It's just Civil War, which I'll probably see because I do like the director.
And I'm assuming it's about the American Civil War.
Like a modern American Civil War, not the.
Oh, right. Yes, I've heard about this now. Yes, it's about like a second American Civil War.
Yeah.
Like a hypothetical second American Civil War.
The trailer looks decent. I'm mostly going to see it because of the filmmaker, because he made Ex Machina. He made Annihilation, which I really like. Annihilation. He's made some other stuff that I'm so on. But Fall Guy. It's that Ryan Gosling movie where he's like a stunt man.
I want to see that one.
I was about to say it seems fun. I might not see it in theaters, but that's one I definitely want to rent at least.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a theater movie, but because it doesn't really look like one of those something to write home about. But
right.
But we've been talking about how it seems like comedies are disappearing from theaters. But that movie's obviously it's a comedy. Yes, it's an action movie.
Yeah.
From the trailers, clearly comedy forward.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I will go see it in the theater just to support a theatrically released comedy.
That's true. Yeah. If I know shouldn't always rely on reviews, but when it comes to my money, I kind of have to. You have to prioritize stuff. If it has decent reviews, like 6 out of 10 or higher, if I see it like 70% or higher on some stuff, then I'll probably go see it.
Yeah.
Let me see. Back to Black. It's a Amy Winehouse biopic. These biopics are just everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a couple of them did numbers over the past couple of years, so now biopics are the new superhero movie.
Oh my God. I hope that does not happen. That would be so awful.
That would be horrible.
Here's the thing. I love me a documentary. I like documentaries. I'm not huge on biopics. Some of them are decent. I'd rather just have a straightforward documentary. None of the Hollywood exaggeration and glamour of it. Just
I would rather have a documentary about a person than a biopic about them.
Yeah. which I think they made like a Amy Winehouse documentary that won a ton of awards. So I'll see that before I see this biopic.
Yeah, well, they usually do both. Like usually, if a person is interesting enough, they'll do a biopic and a documentary.
Yeah. I think the documentary came out like a few years ago, but let me see.
Sometimes they do a billion documentaries.
Yeah. This other one I haven't heard of. It's called If, like IF.
Oh, I have heard of that. It's John Krasinski's Imaginary Friend movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, so there's 2 Imaginary Friend movies coming out this year.
There's another one?
There's another one that's a horror Imaginary Friend movie.
Oh, right. Yes, I've heard about that. It was the teddy bear, right? The teddy bear thing is.
Yeah, called Imaginary. And
yeah,
it started out good, but then the last half of that trailer looks like every other horror movie that's been pumped out the past few years. So,
yeah. But yeah, if I believe John Krasinski is just directing. I don't think he's starring in it at all. But yeah, I believe it's John Krasinski.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it now.
Just want to make sure I remembered who was directing it, right? But
so
yeah,
the little girl, she can see imaginary friends and must help ifs. Oh, okay, that's what they're called. Ifs who have been abandoned by their kids. Okay.
Yeah, if I assume is an acronym that is short for imaginary friend.
Yeah. Okay. That actually doesn't sound that bad.
So it's Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
That's literally what I was thinking. Yeah.
I think Craig McCracken has a lawsuit on his hands.
Is this little girl? Is this the old woman?
Yeah, is this Madam
Is this
Foster?
a prequel? Yeah.
Have you ever heard the fan theory that Frankie Foster is Madam Foster's imaginary friend?
No.
Have you noticed that they're dressed the same?
Yeah.
And that they have the same basic hairdo, just different ages.
Dang. No, yeah, I never thought about that.
I don't think there's any. I don't think it's.
No. I'm going to keep her as the granddaughter, but those theories are always fun.
Old lady imagine a granddaughter for herself, other than
yeah,
weird reasons.
Those theories are fun, though. They are fun. If they have like little stuff like that where it's like you could kind of see it,
yeah,
it's fun.
But no, I'm pretty sure Frankie Foster is just Madam Foster's granddaughter.
Yeah. Next one is Furiosa. I really like Fury Road.
Yeah.
But this trailer I'm so on. I don't know. The trailer just, I don't know if it's like the special effects or like the lighting or the coloring on it. It just looks too,
or the acting or the direction or the score or the
I don't know. It just looks too like
the set design.
It looks too clean and like
costumes.
It looks too clean and like green screeny kind of. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like compared to Fury Road, like.
Oh yeah, Fury Road's dirty as hell.
Yeah. Because a lot of it does actually take place in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah. Furiosa might have to be a rent for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I didn't see Fury Road in the theater either. That was one that I saw as a rental as well.
That's one I like. When that come out? 2015. So maybe 2025 they'll do like a weekend 10-year anniversary release. If they do that, I am going to go see it in theaters because like I've seen it on DVD. I've seen it on my big TV. It looks great. But I know it kind of needs to be seen in theaters.
Yeah. You know what? If they do that and you go and you go, let me know when you're going.
Yes. Yeah, I will. Because
it's crazy to me that Fury Road's gonna be 10 years old next year.
Yeah. Oh, what's wild is like, let's see, The Dark Knight is now
16 years old.
Yeah, 16 years old. Like I think about like the movies that I really like or whatever, or maybe saw in theaters, and then it's like, oh, it's like 15 years old, or some of them like 20 years older, where it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy is 20 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
The Hobbit trilogy is 10 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. Did the last one, it came out 2014?
I think so.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, because it's the first Hobbit movie came out in 2012. So yeah, the last one would have been 2014.
That's right. Yep. It came out, I think, like December of 2014. I remember going to see it with some friends. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I remember that now.
all of Peter Jackson's Middle Earth movies came out the Decembers of their years.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because I believe Lord of the Rings was December's 01 through 03. And then Hobbit was December's 12 to 14.
I gotcha.
I think I remember correctly.
Let's see. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, we already talked about. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And I'm definitely seeing it in the theater.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The one that has to be seen in theater, Garfield.
Oh,
clearly has to be seen in theater.
Garfield.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, he's playing Garfield. Huh. And Samuel Jackson is playing Garfield's father.
Okay. What?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Ugh.
It says Garfield goes on a heist with his feline father, Samuel Jackson. I like to imagine it's not a cat. It literally is just Samuel Jackson. Somehow he birthed this orange cat.
I want to see the scene. I want them to film a scene where they are rushing Samuel L. Jackson, the actor, the live action actor, not animated, into the hospital as he goes into labor and gives birth graphically to the animated Garfield kitten.
I would go see the movie if I found out that was in it. Like that would get me in the theater. That would probably get me in the theater, and then once I see it, if it truly is like insane, get me to go get other people to go see it in the theater.
No, dude, you got to see it. Samuel L. Jackson gives birth to Garfield. And they show the whole thing on camera. It's nuts, dude. It's nuts.
Okay, Inside Out 2. I'll probably see. I'm not like excited for it, but I probably will see it. I really like the first Inside Out.
That's a Disney thing. Just wait the extra month; it'll be on Disney Plus.
You're right. Yeah, I'll probably just do that. Bad Boys 4. I've never seen any of the other Bad Boys.
You know what? Okay, so that's Bad Boys 4, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what horrific mistake they made in naming the third one the way they named it?
What did they name it?
Bad Boys 4 Life with the number 4 in it.
The third one?
The third one.
Oh my gosh. I'm assuming, because that came out like only a few years ago. Yeah. I'm assuming they didn't think, they thought that was the last one. Yeah, they thought that was the last one. They were
getting a fourth one.
Then they get a fourth one. It's just like Bad Boys 4.
Yep. Now we got 2 Bad Boys movies with the number 4 in the title. Which fourth Bad Boys movie do you want to watch? The first one or the second one? Well, what about the third one? There is no third one.
Let's see. The Quiet Place Day 1. I'll probably go see it because I do like the other 2 Quiet Place movies, but I'm not like looking forward to it.
Yeah.
As well as it's like a prequel.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same characters, so.
And you kind of know how it's gonna end. It's gonna end.
Yeah, exactly.
The world becoming the Quiet Place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. Boring Kevin Costner Western.
Boring Kevin Costner Western? Is that the title of the movie?
Yeah, basically, it should be. Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They need to you know what they need to stop? You know what Hollywood needs to stop doing? Numbering all of their first movies.
Yeah. I feel like
let's maybe wait and see if people like it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think that like can detract people from going to go see it because it's a commitment. It means, there's
You go
going to
see
be
chapter
another
one,
one.
and it turns into something you're doing now.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: you can have sequels, but that first one, I don't think you should, like, in the title at least, say that there's going to be more.
Yeah. Like do it the way that do it the normal way. Do it the John Wick way. John Wick Chapter 2. There you go. They're like the first John Wick to John Wick Chapter 1.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they probably didn't know they were getting a John Wick Chapter 2 when they made John Wick Chapter 1, but still.
Like with this one, okay, so if someone was saying like, well, but like the title's called Horizon and American Saga, like Saga, you'd have to put a number or something. Don't even put American Saga or something. Just put Horizon, or just find a better name or something.
Well, that and like Saga doesn't inherently imply that it needs to be told in multiple installments.
Yeah.
Saga just implies a long story.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Kevin Costner, Western, that has nothing about it. Twisters, which is a sequel to Twister. It truly is this thing. Like, we've already went through 80s revivals or reboots. Now we're going into 90s as time is going on.
Yeah.
So Twisters.
Twisters. So they were in the boardroom, like, how do we make a sequel to Twister? And they had the word Twister written on the whiteboard. So someone just wrote S at the end and then put the line through it to turn it into a dollar sign, and they all did that.
They're like, my God, John, yes, brilliant.
Bring out the cocaine.
Clapping. Yeah. Solid day's work, boys.
Good day's work. Twisters. How many Twisters? It doesn't matter.
We could have 2. We could have all of them.
Speaking of Twisters, where are the hookers? Bring the hookers in here.
Let's see. All right, Deadpool 3.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Borderlands they've been talking about a movie for a while.
Yeah, is that actually coming out this year?
It says August 9th.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You cut out.
Oh, sorry. I was saying it says August 9th, but if we don't get a trailer by really the end of April, you can say it's not coming out this year.
I would have said beginning of May, but end of April says, yeah.
Yeah.
If there's no trailer by May, then it's probably being delayed again.
Usually if it's like a movie that like isn't a part of a franchise or anything, usually a trailer will come out 2 to 3 months before release date. If it is a franchise movie, you can look at it 4 to 6 months before release date.
Yeah, and Borderlands is definitely a franchise.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it's really coming out in August, I would say the fact that there's no trailer now is a little bit of an indicator of how that's going. Yeah.
Then Untitled Alien movie. Not really anything about that.
Yeah.
Apparently Horizon and American Saga Chapter 2 comes out how far after the first one? Let me see. Okay, so the first one comes out June 28th. The second one comes out August 16th.
So they're just making like a year-long event out of it.
Probably, yeah. Kevin Costner is just rolling in dough for an entire year.
Yeah, so that's not as much of a commitment as we thought it was. It's not like they're waiting from one summer.
Yeah.
All the old people that are going to wait until that's out on streaming because they're too old to go to the theaters anymore. But they're going to see Kevin Costner and be like, I like Kevin Costner a lot more than that little shell with the shoes on.
He's so handsome.
He's so handsome. He's still handsome, even though he's as old as we are. Don't you think Kevin Costner is handsome, honey? I ain't gay. Honey, you don't have to be gay to recognize another man's beauty.
He's so much more handsome than you are. No offense. we've just been married so long. I feel like we've reached a point where we can talk, pretty much say whatever.
Yeah, pretty
And
much
you'll pretty
honestly
much
about each other. It's like,
and
the
you'll
more-
either say you'll
the more
either
I-
be quiet or you'll just say, yes, honey, I've taken the reins.
the more I look at you, the less I like the way you look. Just gonna be honest. Also, you should probably quit smoking. Because I don't really like the taste of your mouth when I kiss you anymore.
I also heard it kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently smoking's bad for you. I heard that somewhere. I don't know.
You should probably stop. You're 85 years old. You know it could kill you.
You don't want your life to be cut short, do you? So what's coming after chapter 2?
After that, Craven the Hunter.
Oh my gosh, they actually have that scheduled for this year.
August 30th. Yeah, I think there's like 3 or 4 Sony movies coming out this year.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the year of Sony.
This is going to be such a good year for memes.
This isn't the year of DC, not the year of Marvel. It's the year of Sony.
This is the year of Sue. This is the year of the spum.
Let's see. Beetlejuice 2 comes out in September. I haven't seen the first one. I'll probably
Why
check
bother?
it out.
I mean, Beetlejuice, the original Beetlejuice was all right, but like, why bother?
Yeah.
Why bother?
Well, let's keep going with franchises and either sequels or prequels. Transformers 1. Interesting premise, but again, I don't care enough. It seems like it's them on Cybertron.
Oh, you're right. It's basically just going to be an animated movie. I am actually interested in that.
Let's see. Oh, no. I don't get how they're going to do this one. Okay, so Saw 11 is coming out. I think they got lucky with Saw 10. It was a prequel.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming this is going to be another prequel, but it's a sequel to that prequel, I'm guessing. Okay.
Somehow there were even more details you were unaware of. Somehow we had to work really, really hard, but we found a couple gaps.
You know how at the end of each of our movies, there's like the big revelation of like all this twist stuff that led to this thing that's happening, where it shows like, oh, like, whoa, this is crazy. Like the filmmakers, they're so smart. They can write like very intricate stuff that leads to this. Well, we're doing that with the franchise as a whole. Like this whole thing, when we announce this movie, you can just start playing that music that plays at the end of Saw movie where someone's giving the revelation. You can just play that now.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Yeah.
Do you like this like nearly 20-year long Whose Line Is It Anyway game we've been playing with these movies?
Yeah, Saw X, like it wasn't bad. Like it was popcorn fun. Me and my brother had fun with it, but I would never say I'm looking forward to a Saw movie. It'll be something that I might watch with my brother and we'll have popcorn fun with it and forget most of the movie in a week.
I had a higher tolerance for it when I was younger, but I can't do movies that are just 2 hours of people screaming either at each other or in pain anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing. What I will say, they keep it consistent. They keep it consistent in terms of let's keep screaming at each other in confusion, and let's keep the torture up. Because that's the reason people here, we don't give a crap about these characters, even though you could write them to where we care about them.
Yeah.
But
you could make them likable and sympathetic if you wanted to. A little bit, at least.
But no, we're just going to write this movie to where people are only here for the gruesome deaths, for people they kind of hate.
Well, and you see, though, that part though is like it. If you're going to enjoy the deaths in the movie, though, which is the point of the movie, you can't really like sympathize with the characters who are dying too much. Because if they're too likable, you just feel bad about it, and it's not satisfying anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Joker 2, Bali Adu.
Boop boop.
Looking forward to it. Boopadiscoo. Smile 2 is coming out. I didn't even really like the first one. Everyone really liked the first one, but it was okay. It was that trailer that kept going around where it's like, he's smiling at me. He's smiling at me. It's the girl who, like, she sees people smiling all around her, and she'll die eventually with a big smile on her face.
I see people smiling all around me and wonder, will I ever have that?
Oh, here's the big cap off of the, what'd you call it, Spum?
Yeah, the Spum.
Here's the big cap off of the year for Spum. Venom 3. Venom 3.
Oh my gosh. What do you do after Carnage?
I have no idea. Yeah, because the end credit, I know they're not going to do this. The end credits of Carnage implied that like Venom was going into the MCU Spider-Man world, or MCU Spider-Man was coming into the Venom world.
Yeah, and then what happened at the end of No Way Home was Eddie and Venom just went to a bar and drank the whole time they were in the main MCU, and then got transported back when the spell was undone.
Oh, okay.
But that's a tiny piece of the symbiote for some reason got left behind. Thus, basically hinting that it's possible that the MCU Peter Parker could come in contact with it and get a black suit. And hopefully kick off the Venom saga as we know it.
We can have the Venom saga. Let's just kill that little Venom alien from this alternate universe. It's gone, and now we have this universe's Venom symbiote come into contact with Peter somehow. Let's just do that. Let's not tie it into the Sony stuff.
Yeah. The Venom 3 opens with someone shooting Eddie Brock in the head.
Okay, so next one's Gladiator 2.
What?
The first, yeah, exactly. Gladiator 1 seemed like it had a definitive ending. I don't. So yeah, apparently there's a Gladiator 2 happening. Yeah.
Why can't anything just like be?
Oh no.
Like, if it's a series, fine. Let it be a series. But there are so many, like, there's so many sequels you listed off that are coming out this year where it's like, that wasn't what it was.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just let it be. Like, what? So when's Citizen Kane 2?
Yeah, exactly.
When's Citizen Kane 2 coming out, or the prequel to Citizen Kane?
Yeah.
Like when are we getting Gone with the Wind 2?
Yeah.
Or Hello Dolly 2, or the prequel to Hello Dolly, Hi, My Name is Dolly, or something like that. And then the sequel to Hello Dolly is Goodbye Dolly.
You're right. There are a bunch of them like this on this list for this year. Gladiator 2, I think, might be the worst one because, ultimately, the reason they're doing it is like name recognition.
Yeah.
Which also, like, I don't know. It's not a franchise, so it's not giant name recognition, but it's still name recognition because I'm assuming it might have a tiny bit to do with the first Gladiator. Have you seen the first Gladiator?
I've not.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything, but let's just say some of the big characters won't be making an appearance in this movie.
I'm assuming that Gerard Butler dies.
He, as well as the big villain.
Okay, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. So it's why not just make like obviously the reason why is because you'll sell more by having sequel or name recognition, but this is basically just going to be like a
different
Gladiator
drama.
yeah, exactly. It'll be a historical drama that's
set in roughly the same time period.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's going. Oh, Karate Kid, the movie, it's coming out.
Oh right, isn't it going to be like a crossover between the two different Karate Kid things? Like,
yeah,
it's going to be like Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan are going to be in the same Karate Kid movie.
They're going to be in the same movie.
That actually sounds like an interesting idea.
I'm sure Jaden Smith will make an appearance. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah.
So yeah. Whoop whoop. Oh, let's see. Wicked. Okay, so I was going to skip over this one, but then I saw a little thing with the article. Okay, so Wicked is finally bringing its take on the iconic Wizards of Oz characters, from the Great White Way to the big screen. So basically, more franchise stuff. Yeah, exactly. We're getting more of these.
Yeah.
Here's some more. A lot of this is happening at the end of the year. It is happening throughout the year, but the end of the year is definitely this. Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen the first or second one, but this one has Shadow in it.
I was gonna say this is the one that's supposed to have Shadow in it, so that's a big deal.
Yeah,
he's the ultimate life form.
Mufasa the Lion King.
Oh my god, I forgot that was happening. Some Disney executive just needs to hang. Because that's gotta be a crime. Because you know what that's a prequel to? That's a prequel to the
live action
Lion King.
Yeah,
that isn't live action because all
the
have to be animated in CGI anyway. So it's just a worse version of the Lion King because they can't be as expressive because they're photorealistic. Seriously, this is some kind of crime. Like, there has to be something in like the American Constitution that says Disney isn't allowed to do this, and we're allowed to shoot one of them.
And that's also the big Christmas movie of this year. That's December 20th.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yep.
That's just disgusting.
And it looks like the last one on this list. I'm actually really looking forward to this. Nosferatu. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, it is like franchise, but again, like
if there
1922.
I was gonna say, if there was a movie that needed an update, it's Nosferatu, because it's literally over 100 years old.
Yeah. As well as like the big reason I'm excited about one, I do like the original Nosferatu, but like the people behind this, specifically who's making it, Robert Eggers, the guy who made The Witch,
yes.
He made The Northman, he made The Lighthouse. He's making this.
That is perfect. I am going to see that movie in the theater.
As well as to help like show how good this is. He's been trying to do this for a long time. It's not like something that was thrown on him and he said yes. He's been wanting to make this for a long time.
Yeah.
And then now that he's big enough, they finally said yes. So
yeah. I think The Northman finally gave him that last push he needed.
Yeah. But
which is weird. As far as I know, that movie like wasn't super popular.
Yeah, I don't know how it did box office wise. I thought it flopped or like broke even.
I liked it.
No, I loved it. I'm not saying like, yeah, I loved it. It was like top 3 or 4 movies for me that year, but I don't know if it made its money back. But
yeah.
I'm glad he's getting to make this. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And then one that wasn't on this list, I'll briefly mention before we start doing wrap ups. There is a movie with Julia. I'm trying to remember how to pronounce her name. The woman from Seinfeld.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes, thank you. Her. There's a movie coming out, don't know exactly when, but probably soon because a trailer came out recently, called Tuesday. That is about her. She's playing a mother and her teenage daughter.
Okay.
Her teenage daughter is dying. Like is going to die, like has cancer or something like that, is dying.
Rough, buddy.
And they must confront death, and death arrives in the form of a talking parrot. And also, this isn't a comedy. Like as crazy as this sounds, they're playing this like very serious to where you'll likely cry a bunch in the movie.
Whoa. Do you know when it's coming out?
They haven't released a date yet. The trailer came out like a week ago or something.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. It definitely looks like something I'm going to cry at. There's one nitpick I have with it. It's the voice of the talking parrot. Yes, the thing you go with is like a deep voice. I get that based on the trailer and stuff. But what they went with is the thing that everyone can do. And it's whenever you're trying to make a monster voice, kind of, it's no.
It's
for death.
The low, scratchy voice.
Death is coming for you.
Death is coming for you.
That's exactly what it sounds
like Soundwave in the second Transformers movie.
But he's comforting, so it's more like I'm here for you. Everything will be okay. I love you.
You are loved. You are. You see, I can do actual like low, scratchy, growly voices, but that one, like doing a funny, low, scratchy, that makes my throat uncomfortable. Hello.
But yeah,
like that was more comfortable for me.
Hello, you are loved.
I'd be okay. I'd be more okay with that voice
I love you.
because
You're a
it
very
seems like
special person.
it feels like a voice actor actually try it. No offense to this voice actor, but it's the thing that all of us can do,
Yeah.
and a lot of times it's done as a joke. And this movie's supposed to be played very seriously.
Yeah, it's like a. Now, of course, my throat is a little. I used to practice screaming with death metal music, so like I've done sufficient damage that scratchy voices are actually quite comfortable for me. But yeah, that one in particular is just like I still wouldn't do that for an extended period of time. That like that that feels a little weird.
Yeah,
I can do a pretty good Toad from Mario.
Yeah,
I'm not going to demonstrate it because I might blow out my microphone on my phone. But hang on. Let me get a little further away.
Okay.
Hello.
There you go. Yeah. That sounds like Toad.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Mario.
Pretty solid.
You want to do some drugs?
Actually, that didn't sound like Keegan-Michael Key.
Nope. I'm going with the video game accurate.
Yeah, but all these movies look pretty good. Tuesday looks good, aside from the parrot voice. I'm not a fan of.
Tuesday, the prequel to Wednesday.
That's literally, my sister sent me the trailer, and that was the joke I made. I was like, "Oh, is this a prequel to Wednesday?" Yeah, but
I would love to see a 7-movie series where every movie is named after a day of the week, and you can watch them in a circle.
Yes, that would be great. And you could do it like the show 24 Hours style, where like each episode or movie does take place that one day. It does take place Monday, and then the next one does take place Tuesday, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so guess we'll get into wrap up stuff. I have other stuff, but I can save that for a future episode.
All right. Yeah,
yeah,
we've
I
been
didn't
going for 2.5 hours already.
Yeah, I didn't even mean to slip down that movies thing, but just
No, it was
came up.
interesting. It was interesting to hear what's coming out for the year. But yeah,
Mostly
Nosferatu,
franchise stuff, but does
I
seem
think-
like some other good stuff.
I think Nosferatu officially became the movie I'm most excited for the year, which sucks
Oh
because
yeah,
it's so far away. It's at the opposite end of the year.
comes out literally Christmas.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
too long. It should come out on Halloween.
Yeah, that would have been good. I didn't see any Halloween releases, but they'll probably announce them because
Yeah, the closer we
Yeah.
get, the more horror movies are going to be announced for around that time.
yeah, that's probably why they didn't do it then. All right, so with wrap up stuff, I first want to mention this. I didn't mention it at the beginning because I forgot about it. This was the thing I forgot. So if you've listened this long and you've wanted any bit of comic advice or anything, and you made it somehow to 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get it, I want to mention importance of reaching out to others for second opinions on your comic art or your stories. I'm bringing this up because Teo actually did help with this, and I'll mention why. So making a series called Curbsided. It's going good. Hopefully we'll have the first issue out by the end of the year. Hopefully get picked up by a publisher. Putting a lot into this one in terms of time and effort. But I mention it because we just finished up the concept art phase. And these two characters, as well as a thing that they're centered around. I won't say specifically what yet, but it's their setting, basically. And it's almost a character of itself, the setting. Was doing concept art and whittled down to like these two designs that I had. And the big differences were color designs. Like one of the characters, I didn't know how I wanted them to look. I had two different options. And then the setting, I had two different options for that of how I wanted it to look. I got to a point where I was kind of like stuck and didn't know exactly which looked best. So this might seem like an obvious thing to people, but I want to preface the importance of reaching out to people if you're unsure about something. Definitely if you're unsure about something, or if you have like the slightest bit of doubt about something, and get their view or their opinion on it. I mention this because this concept art that I was debating between this or that, I sent it to Teo, I sent it to my sister, and I showed my mom. And I basically asked, like, hey, which looks better? And if you have any reasons of why it looks better, could you tell me? Because that also helps. Teo and my mom gave me like 2 good points. Because I'll mention, I'll just say it. This doesn't really matter. The setting is a food truck. And it's 2 different colors of the food truck. And Teo and my mom gave me good points about this, where Teo had mentioned the food truck looks kind of like almost like a bakery or a bakery truck based on the colors. And I didn't even think about that before. Like then whenever he said it, I was like, oh crap, like I can kind of see that. So I was glad I got that bit of advice there. And then my mom, she looked at both of them, the 2 color options, and she saw that blue one that Teo had mentioned. She saw that one. She said the characters blend in with it too much. Like they don't stand out enough. Like, especially the one, Kai. Kai blended in with it too much. And it then made me think of like, there's going to be a lot of scenes where Kai is inside of it and you're going to see the back. So you're just going to see like blue background with like slightly blue t-shirt and hat sort of thing, to where it's too much. There needs to be some contrasting colors.
Plus,
Didn't even think about
the other
that.
one was wearing purple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't entirely think about those things. I kind of thought about the contrasting color thing a little bit, but I was still in my head at the time before I sent the thing out to you guys. I was kind of like, I think I'm going to go with the blue food truck. But then once I got all this feedback, I was like, it really does make more sense to go with this beige color.
Yeah.
So I mention all that.
It says lunch to me more than blue does.
Yeah, and that was the other part that you said, is like that actually feels like a food truck.
Yeah.
Like going to get lunch or dinner or whatever there.
Because like where I work right now, we have food trucks every week, and the prevailing color schemes are either black or beige.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it helped a lot. I'm basically saying, like, if you're unsure on something, reach out to people about it. Even if you are like 98% sure on something, because I was kind of 98% sure on the blue truck, but wasn't entirely sure. Once I got this feedback, it did help a lot. It made me realize, like, oh, okay, like, change it. And once I saw it with that change, it looks better. I think it does look better and stands out more. And I'll also mention, so that's with art side of things. Also stories. I was thinking about this whenever I was thinking about the art thing. I think this is another example. I think I reached out to you. This was probably 2019, either early 2019 or late 2018. I reached out to you regarding Dismay Avenue #1, the program issue, the movie theater issue. I'm almost certain I reached out to you with 2 or 3 ending options for that comic. I had 2 or 3 ending options that I wasn't sure about. This is another example of this. I wasn't sure about these 2 or 3 ending options. I sent it to you. I think I sent it to 2 other people. And basically all 3 of y'all that I sent it to pointed to this one ending option that happens in program. It's actually in the book. And so it's just, I don't know, it's one of those instances where I thought about it for this curbside concept art, but then I thought about it with other stuff. Basically, to wrap this whole point up, people, just, if you're unsure about something, just reach out to people. Like see them as like they're your friends or family, but also see them as like the reader. Yeah. Like what makes more sense as the reader, because sometimes you can get stuck as the creator and not realize what is best as a reading experience.
The people in your life are tools to be used.
But yeah, I wanted to mention that one little thought on that. But yeah, any plugs or closing remarks?
Okay. I've got one creative side project that I'm not going to say it's off the ground yet, but it's something I can probably talk about now. So me and a pair of my friends, Clay and Michael, you're going to hear their names pop up a lot over the course of this podcast series.
Yes.
We started a new Let's Play channel called The Unprofessionals. We're probably really difficult to find on YouTube right now if you search for us. So look up like The Unprofessionals Intelligent Cube. Cube spelled Qube, if you're interested in finding out what we're doing. Our name is very intentional. This is not a professional production whatsoever. But we're just we're recording for fun. We don't have a set schedule. We're just kind of doing things willy-nilly, and you know, it's just for goofs and giggles.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in infrequent, low stakes, minimal investment, let's play entertainment, then there you go.
Solid. Can you repeat the name?
The Unprofessionals.
The Unprofessionals, and you said the something cube.
Oh, Intelligent
Like-
Cube spelled with a
Okay.
Q instead of a C.
Okay. So yeah, you can look that up. Follow along.
Yeah, with the new channel though, yeah, the Unprofessionals. It's just a new thing that we're doing just for fun.
Yeah, nice. All right. So follow along with that. You can follow along with this podcast, see us just talk. You've already done that for the past almost 3 hours now. If you're this far, I guess you like it, or you're trying to dig up something to really get at us about.
Or you just have it playing in the background while you're doing homework or something.
That's true. That's true. In that case, you got this. Ace the test,
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
And also,
All right.
if you made it this far, you win.
Yeah, you won.
You just won. Congratulations.
And your prize is that I've been Brandon,
And I've been Teo.
and now we're out. Congratulations.
Good job.